What's up, y'all? Abigail Klutz here from Olathe, Kansas, and still got my earphones in. Okay, it's FriYAY. It's FriYAY Live with Dr. Heather, and she's coming on right now. We got a good one for you today. Got some good questions. All right. Can't bring Heather on camera. They can't join your broadcast at this time. That is going to make for an interesting FriYAY. All right. This should be working. Hi.
I got to turn this around a second, okay? Let me tell you what's happening that you're missing. So
I'm going to come get food, aren't I?
No, Natalie, say hello.
Hi.
So,
Hey, Natalie.
So I have to take you over here because you're probably going to start driving over. We made the most beautiful, we're practicing keto bagels.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah, in raspberry vinaigrette. We have some bread. We have a stuffing recipe. We have shredded chicken, spicy chicken on cucumbers. We made little mini pancakes.
Aww.
We spinach artichoke dip. I know we're just waiting for people to get on. And then Natalie made these bombs I put in my freezer. So hold on as we cruise through my kitchen. See, all things good in baking, like living it, right? We have, I'm telling you, bone broth. And then Natalie's fat bombs. Natalie, it's on you.
Are they good?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna pick Charlotte up from school, and
I know. I'm trying to turn it around. Please pop over.
No,
everyone had a little splash with our bread, so it was absolutely perfect. So I do have house guests, so we will get down to these Q&A, and so I can get back to my keto friends.
Yeah, that sounds great. I got to get Charlotte. Actually, do you have a clock in there right now?
Well, it is, except for it is on the bread. It's 3:26.
Let me know when it's 3:35. How about that? I'm on my phone.
Yeah, Dr. Nell, let us know when it's 3:35. Hey, Doc Muscles.
That sounds good. Awesome. Okay, Dr. Heather, keto myths debunked. What's been your number one thing this week that we just need to cover today?
So I don't know, you know how things come in storm, like when you're in the grocery line, nobody's there, but then the minute you go there, everybody's there. So I've had people message me about different stuff, different supplements, different this, different that, different health concerns. I feel this, I feel that. And then I share a little bit about exogenous ketones or a keto diet, and they say, I don't need ketones. So I don't understand why a person would not need ketones. Like, don't you want better energy? Like, don't you want to burn more efficiently? Don't you want more oxygen to your brain? Like, don't you want more focus? Don't you want to sleep better? Don't you want to have less pain? So it's just crazy that people like, I don't need ketones. Like, I got glucose and I can convert this and I can convert that. But real studies, Dr. Pompa just shared last week that 90% of us have lost the ability to actually convert fat into ketones, even on a ketogenic diet. So I'm not for sure why somebody'd say they don't need ketones. Like, that's like nonsensical.
You know, I think that's a good thing to address because it's an uneducated mind. Here's the thing. I think there's so much stigma on people who have been sold products in the health industry that I think there's two hands up. And for so long also in community-based marketing, MLM, network marketing, what have you, it's been a lot of the same stuff, right? It's been protein powders. Okay, those don't cross through your blood-brain barrier. It's been energy drinks full of caffeine and magical berries with no scientific studies behind them. Those also don't do what ketone technology does. It's a feeling of you're just trying to sell me another product versus, I know for you more than anyone, it's like, here's the science. And you're going to be on it in 2 years anyway. Let me introduce you to it. And it's just like, I think because of the industry and people being so promised and so oversold before in the past that this one's going to work for you, people are skeptical. and they're tired of putting their money in somewhere.
For sure.
I mean, would you say that's probably
Yeah.
what you're getting back there? It's not the same as vitamins. It's not the same as protein, you know?
Right. That's what Dr. Natalie Beauchamp had said. She said, it's not another drink. I think everyone has tried another drink, so to speak, whether it's a protein, whether it's a spark thing, where it's this thing, that thing, an energy drink. It's not an energy drink. Well, it is an energy drink, but it's ketones, what our body naturally produces. It's how we came into this world. And my simple comment is ketones just makes life easier. Exogenous ketones makes life easier. Easier, again, for craving control, just so many reasons why. So I love what Dr. Nally set up above about horses. So, I mean,
what did he say about horses?
He said, I love riding my horses, but saying you don't need ketones is like saying I have a horse, but I don't need a car. Like,
right. It's apples and oranges, or like cucumbers and oranges.
Okay, you better stop there.
It is time for more ketones.
Yeah. So what he meant is he has a horse that could get him from place to place, but saying, oh, I have a horse, I don't need a car, doesn't make sense. Having a body that moves and breathes every single day and saying you don't need ketones is like saying, I'm just going to be a car burner and just, age myself as fast as I possibly can. So I just can't believe I don't need ketones. That's just the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I just have to say so.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, it's 3:30.
Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to talk about, I just had some questions from Mondays that I want to read you real quick. And by the way, Dr. Heather and we are both independent prover promoters with the company Prove It. But, Dr. Heather, if you're not following a keto diet, but taking exogenous ketones, and this I went over in my workout video yesterday, but I'm sure you can give a more medical answer. What is happening to the carbohydrates you're consuming? Are you still burning them, or are they getting stored as fat?
So it's pretty simple. The body just wants energy. Whatever's most bioavailable, it will use. So if I eat a bagel now and I drink my exogenous ketones at the same time, the ketones are already broken down. They're metabolite that my body uses. It goes straight into my blood and straight into the cell. The carbohydrate that I ate 30, 40 minutes before has got to go all through the citric acid cycle, fatty acid oxidation. We have to chew it, the gallbladder, the liver. So many organs and players are involved in digestion. You're not going to process it right away. So even if you have carbohydrates and drink ketones, you're going to get them instantly. But the more important thing is that the name of the game is conserving insulin. Type 2 diabetes, people just run out of insulin. Type 1, they don't have it. Every time we eat a carb or a protein, we have to have insulin. So that's why we're, like Dr. Nally shared, there's a 9-year-old diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So your question is, what's happening after your body uses up the ketones? If you don't have more fat available, it'll either tap into your lean muscle mass or it'll go back to sugar burning. It just depends on what you fuel it with. So the body just wants fuel, glucose or ketones. So whatever's there, it's going to grab and use. So when you drink ketones before you work out, even if you had a bagel 3 hours earlier, whatever is available for use, depending on your digestion and your lifestyle and a lot of other factors, is what your body will get. Ketones, instant energy in your cell within moments.
And that's why it's so huge too for people that are working out, because your body will pull from protein to make glucose for more energy. So all these people, eating a moderate carb, low fat diet that are saying, I can't take ketones, I eat carbohydrates. It's just bunk. Like that's not what science says. Science says you're giving yourself more fuel. You're having a glycogen preserving effect, and therefore your body is less likely to grab the protein, which, by the way, you need that to try and build your muscles. I'm putting on the Dr. Heather hat, and I don't need to because she's here. But I love that, and that's a question we often get. Dr. Heather, what about people who maybe have anxiety or depression, or does it interact ever with medications? That's two different questions.
So the second one's the easiest one. After 21 some million servings and 36 months in the marketplace, I'm following the sun, that we have not found, we as in Prove It have not found any over-the-counter prescription medication or any medication, any supplement that is actually contraindicated using the ketone. So what that means is we haven't found a reason not to take them. It doesn't counteract, like you can't have grapefruit and statins, like that's a contraindication, right? So we haven't found anything because ketones are our native fuel. That's why ketones are not on the WADA or anti-doping list, because normal athletes excrete them during an endurance race. So it's a normal thing found in your body that you either excrete out or breathe out. So it's a simple one. And that was the second question. The first question was,
how is it helping? Why is it helping? Why do we hear with
for anxiety? Right. Yeah. So I love this. So we can go about 2 minutes without oxygen, right? So if we all hold our nose, the first thing that starts to happen is we don't get oxygen. We start to panic, right? Fear, our blood pressure goes up, our skin gets all tight. Well, we know ketones downregulates our excitatory neurons. So whether it's insomnia, anxiety, focus, performance, cognition, recall, when we get more oxygen, ketones give about 38% more oxygen at the cellular level. When you're putting more oxygen at the cellular level, our neurotransmitters fire less excitatory neurons. I know I'm chasing the sun. So again, it's all the same system, whether it's insomnia, anxiety, ADHD, ADD. When you put more oxygen in your brain, it focuses better, it relaxes better, so you can have a more articulate thought process, you have less anxiety, you get more oxygen, so you go to sleep, it reduces inflammation, which also helps with anxiety. So it's a win-win situation. All the same, not all the same, but basically the same metabolic. Downregulates our excitatory neurons, and we're all overstressed and overexcited.
And I have to add this in, like practical application right here, but there's a lot of holiday parties coming up, and I have personally experienced this when I used to go into a social setting. Sometimes with food, I get a little bit of social anxiety, and I would eat. I would eat more, or I mean, it was just that something I was doing and I wasn't thinking about it. And I have noticed a huge difference in drinking the ketones than going into those situations where I do typically get that, and being able to have a more calm energy and not do that like I used to do. So I think that could be huge for people. When they're in those situations with the holidays coming up and the higher stress, and how we do put things in our mouth, right, when we're feeling that way.
Or because it looks good. So what Dr. Veach's preliminary study showed, that in the presence of exogenous ketones, so again, I have ketones in my body, I drink them an hour before the party, 2 hours before the party, at the party, our body dumps less insulin. On a normal carbitarian sugar feeder, you only get 20 or 30 minutes of insulin. So you eat something, the insulin spikes, your feel-good hormones come in, it drops, dopamine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and then that craving starts again that you want to eat something more. So if you've ever been, I go back every 20 minutes for a cracker if I'm a little kid, or go back every 20 minutes for a bite. Ketones create satiety, which is feeling fuller longer. It decreases cravings, some alpha proteins in our brain. So it's a real thing happening. So 2 years since you've been using the exogenous ketones on a non-perfect diet, right? Just close counts, right? Inch by inch, we're winning. You're having those adaptive changes. People don't wake up and crave alcohol or crave cigarettes. They adapt that over time and can't get rid of it. The same happens conversely with sugar. The less we have, the more balance we have to our blood sugar, the less likely we are to overeat, to overcrave, to have that anxiety around food. Like, am I going to be able to stop, or am I going to eat the whole bucket? So the more you keep your body exposed and you get those adaptive changes, the amazing thing can happen is, like, you can enjoy the party without focusing on the food, or teach people to have amazing food like we have at our house.
That's what you're doing right now. I love it. And I got 2 minutes here, and then I'm going to jet out. But I would love if you can cover a little bit on the 143, because if you're watching this video, there is a special going on with this today, which is, I'm going to let Dr. Heather tell you about it. I personally use it every day and take it with me when I travel and put it on my salads and vegetables. But Dr. Heather, what is this and what are the benefits of it? Because you can get it today.
Okay, so our brains are 60% fat. 143 is the highest technological blend of C6 through C12 carbons, short chain, medium chain fatty acid that crosses the blood-brain barrier easier and more efficiently. There are lots of MCT oil, medium chain triglycerides, that cover your brain, but what we've done, and what with Dr. Mary Newport's 10 years of input, is formulated the right combination so it actually helps protect your brain against injury, help repair after injury. Plus it has AC11, which is cat's claw, which helps with genetic repair and expression. Plus it has phosphatidylcholine. Choline is normally found in egg yolks, but choline is super important for your brain and cognition. So whether you're trying to prevent any type of cognitive issue, or you've had a cognitive issue, whether it's Parkinson's, ALS, tremor, you are a soccer player and had headbutters, anything like that, putting the oil in your body will help create satiety during the holidays, help repair those damaged neurons. I grew up in a house, my mom and dad both smoked. It was all cool in the 70s and 80s, repairing that smoker's brain I was exposed to back in the 70s and 80s. Repairing our brain, which is exposed to toxins every day out there in the water and the food, and stress and sugar, we know actually helps shrink our brain. So put it on everything. I love it in my tuna salad. I don't love it in my coffee, I'll be honest, but I love to dip it in things. I love to have like the chicken and the I'm looking what's over there, the red peppers and everything else, just soaking them in oil. So it's a win-win. Get some for your brain health. You cannot find a better value anywhere right now getting those extra MCTs. I've got a friend here who's an airline pilot, and she travels globally, and she's locked in that cabin for hours on end. She cannot take food into and out of the country. We talked about how beneficial the MCT oil, the coconut, the ketones are for her, driving that plane with hundreds of people on it for extended hours and not getting out to go to the bathroom or even eat. So amazing for safety issues. And again, I love her story about that.
And that final...
And I'd say one thing. So we did a little count up in our kitchen. 215 pounds have been lost in my kitchen. Like, we went around a fat. We added it up. So you got to go pick up Charlotte. I got to get, Lori's making cinnamon rolls over there. Lori, wave.
Okay, we're going to come over. We're going to come over and eat. All right.
Cinnamon rolls will be ready. Okay. Bye. Bye, Karen. Bye, Crystal. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.